Hello, everybody. Jake here, and welcome back to the Card Lounge podcast. I'm here with my co-host.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Robo.
And we are currently ascending to new heights in the Pokemon card hobby with Ascended Heroes.
We're Ascended Heroes. We're mega ascending to what I guess some people are saying is Crown Zenith 2.0. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I like the set a lot. I know Mega Dream's already out, and a lot of people are pulling the good cards from it. There's some bad SIRs in it, too. I won't go into details on what I think is a good or bad
There's
SIR.
Some bad ones?
Oh, I think so. I think there's some clearly more out there SIR, and I'm fine with that. I think it's cool that there are SIRs that are more like out there in terms of their art design. I think that's cool.
I thought you liked out there stuff.
It depends. I really like that there were a lot of people defending me for
the mega. I saw that, the comic book style, but I just feel like maybe the camp that I was in is a little less vocal, but I feel like you take those old XY megas and you put them next to the new mega attack rares. Dude, the XY ones look so much better. Yeah, that Mega Rayquaza.
I think that's completely fine. I think it's fine that they are clearly different. I would rather they made it very clearly defined. You're right. If you hold up the old Megas and the new Megas, they should look different. And I'm okay with that. They should be almost like completely different styles rather than doing a repeat of an old style. You know what I mean?
Okay, I know what you mean by that. I can agree with the sentiment of what you're saying, but I think when you do a callback, it's like Celebrations made the old school artworks. I mean, they just took the original art and they put the Pikachu stamp on it. I kind of like that they didn't change or stylize it other than the Pikachu. You know how they like kind of redid Arita's OG Pikachu?
Yep.
So the thing is...
For Celebration?
Yeah. And the only reason I bring up that example is imagine they bring back Tag Team, but they don't have the yellow like brackets in the corner and the tag team looks different. And it doesn't have that like tag team feel, but then there's just two Pokemon in the artwork. It will, I feel like, be a little, it'll take a little bit away from it, because the reason the tag team thing is the way it is because of how they made it look. Just like how the original Mega Attack rares, before they even had a term for it, just were like an alt art version of the Mega. You know, it's like the Mega Pokemon, and then just the attack was in the opposite language. So I kind of liked that they kept that callback for having the opposite text language, but I still feel like it should be in that design. I don't know if it's going to be a true callback. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with you in that. I think you're right in that if the regular versions of these cards, the regular Mega Charizard EX, just still had the attack on it, and that would, I think, satisfy your camp.
Maybe,
and would still have like people satisfied with a new way for the new full arts. It's that the regular ultra rare versions do not have the mega attack.
Too. That does bother me a little, but you're right. It's like if that was there, that would probably help some. Although I do feel like if they just made it more, I don't know, because what do you call? It's not like cartoon style. I mean, the old style is still technically a cartoon. It's just like it looks more.
I think they're very clearly now going for a comic book. That's very clear, especially with the upcoming set Ascended Heroes. It's almost on the nose what they're trying to do.
It has that kind of like panel.
They're very much going
anime,
for
a manga panel style look. I do think it's interesting that if they do make a Rayquaza, like what that will look like compared to the old. I think honestly one of the best looking cards in the last decade is that Mega Rayquaza from XY Ancient Origins.
That is a really strong one.
Isn't not just an amazing looking card? And when you see it in person, like the texture, even like the Mega Sharpedo, if you see that card in real life, it really stands out. Like it's a very just stellar piece of artwork, I think.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Is that for some of the secret rares Mega cards, they really went out there.
Yes, and I don't get the same vibe from the new, like the Mega Charizard and his attack rare. Like I'd much rather collect the SIR, and I think a lot of people are leaning towards collecting those over the Mega Attack rares, you know? Yeah. But I mean, people can collect both. They're both cool looking.
Yeah. So right now with the upcoming set Mega Dreams, there is a Mega Ultra Rare Dragonite inside of the set.
Yes, that looks
cool. The gold one. It looks okay.
Wait, the gold.
The gold version.
Yeah, okay.
And here's what I think. I think the golds are going to be the biggest flop of this generation, is that they're very expensive right now. For instance, the one in Mega Dream, it's going for $500 to $600. So it's a big chase card. Same with the Mega Ultra Rare Charizard in Phantasmal Flames. It's also a pretty big chase card. The raw version's incredibly expensive. I think it's cheaper than the SIR. but it's actually the reverse, where the PSA 10 version of the Mega Ultra Rare Charizard is actually more expensive than the SIR version. Little weird stuff like that. But I do think, and this is my call out, and maybe it's a hot take or not, but I think those are probably going to be the biggest flop of the Mega generation, is that I don't think they're going to catch on, because I actually think from an art standpoint, they already look kind of dated to me. They look flat.
They look flat.
When you were talking about those old XY Mega cards, the top chase cards, really popping out and like looking wild and zany,
right?
These look two-dimensional to me. They do not look good.
I do get what you mean. I'll agree with when you compare them that way, but what they do look good, or at least better than, is the older gold cards. You see what I'm saying? Like,
they are better,
right?
Because but that was a low bar. I would say that's a low bar.
And I agree with you. It's like, if you're gonna make a gold card, I'd rather be what we're getting now than how they did gold cards in the Sword and Shield era, and even in the Sun and Moon era.
I'll tell you what they're missing. I think the detail that's missing, and this is gonna sound weird, because they're gold cards.
Right.
But I think they need color.
It's color?
Yeah, they need just a little bit of color.
Well, that's what the old, I think of the Golden Snorlax. That card really jumps out to me. Golden Octillery.
Those are really solid. They're just missing a background. So the Pokemon is fine, but there's nothing in the background. So if you just
color
take
the background, then you just have a full art card or an alt art.
No, you just have the new MURs. If give it the same circular design as the Lucario in the background of that Snorlax, and I think that card will become a top tier chase card.
Wait, but you want like a colored background, and then the gold is just the Lucario?
No. So the Snorlax should be fully colorized. It's a colorized Snorlax.
Right.
The background should be a texturized pattern. Do it whatever they want.
But gold.
Yes. And that's all it takes. It just needs something else. The card, the the gold Snorlax, the gold.
Because the background is just
the gold Meowth,
plain.
Meowth. Yeah, it's just plain. It's just flat.
I see what you're saying.
There's a gold Frostmoth. They all look good, but they're just missing something. And also the other thing that makes them kind of weaker chase is that they're regular Pokemon cards, and that they're the rare versions of these cards. They're not EX, GX, VMAXs. So they're missing that.
Oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean. But I mean the mega, like the mega golds are all of the mega Pokemon.
That's correct. That helps.
That helps.
Imagine if you had Snorlax VMAX, the Dynamax version. Do you know the one where it's just a planet?
It's like the planet on his belly, yeah.
Put that on a gold card, make it colorized, give it a texturized background, and boom, you got a top tier chase card. The biggest issue with the Mega Ultra Rares is that let's say you have the Lucario, you have the Gardevoir, the Gengar, the Charizard, and the Dragonite. Let's say you have those 5 in the background, all right? Across the room, you can't tell them apart. They all look like 5. You see 5 gold cards, but you can't point out which one is which.
There's no distinction. I see what you're saying. You know what's interesting? One Piece just started to do like the anniversary cards. There's like a gold version and a silver version.
Yeah.
But they don't get rid of the color of the card. It's the same artwork that we've already seen. They use the same image that's used for their respective manga artworks or their alternate artworks. And yet they just put this tinge of like gold or this tinge of silver that make it look, like really good. And I'm wondering if they did that kind of like holographic style and texture on Pokemon cards, if that's what it would be to really make guys, imagine a Charizard or a Pikachu with like the same hollow and texture as like the 3rd anniversary like gold Luffy or silver Luffy. I think people would lose their minds in the Pokemon space, but I don't know if that's something that's like a part of Pokemon's MO,
Yeah, that's something I want to cook up on a later portion of the podcast. Is obviously the 30th anniversary is next year. We've already gotten a small bit of teaser on it, but I would love to get your theories on, maybe we'll make our call outs on what we think the next celebration collection is going to look like, which is apparently the current going name of it.
Oh, wait, that's something we could definitely talk about. Wait, the going name is what?
Celebration Collection.
Just celebration, so still celebrations?
I didn't say it was a good name. I did not say it was a good name.
I noticed, did you see that they kept the same celebration stamp on the Pokemon Center items this morning?
I'm very confident now.
On the Cyndaquil, Totodile, and Chikorita?
Yeah, I'm very... Oh, you mean for the drop that they just did?
There was a drop. Dude, I was on the drop and I didn't get any... Oh, no, wait. Not Black Friday. Today.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's pretty close.
There was something this morning And all I saw, I didn't get any of these. It was unavailable to me, but I saw a photo. I think I took a screenshot of it. It's the OG, the rookie card, Totodile, Chikorita, and Cyndaquil.
I'll tell you what it is. It's just overstock items. They always do that. It's literally just the jumbo cards version, by the way. It's the exact same one. It's not a new version of the cards.
I see. Is that what it is?
It's overstock.
Oh my gosh. So wait, I thought it was just they're reprinting Neo Genesis the way that they did Celebrations.
No, it's literally the exact same the jumbo cards from the starter packs.
From the ones we
Which
opened.
Is why I didn't even buy it, because you just get 3 jumbo cards.
See,
and you still have the 25th
I almost got
stamp.
duped, guys. See, I thought it was like, it's weird when you see the image with no other reference to size. I was like, I saw the 3 cards. I was like, oh my God, do I need to make a video on this? They're reprinting Neo Genesis, but with Celebration stamps. Yeah. But I forgot it's just those jumbo cards.
If you look in the description, it literally says 3 jumbo starters.
Oh. Okay, well then forget everything I just said.
I know what you were excited about, because I saw those 2 and I was like,
that.
wait, what is this? And I clicked on it and I looked at the detail. And I was going to get the Totodile plushie with the 3 jumbo cards, but I was like, I don't even want that.
I was too tired. I just saw the pictures and I was like, I'm going to bed. It says unavailable, but I didn't read past that.
Yeah, so before Celebrations Collection, that's the current trademark name for the Japanese set, which is going out next year. We don't have an idea for. We might have the exact same name, but if we do, like I said, it's kind of dumb. They shouldn't reuse Celebration.
I don't think they should reuse. Did you see you know how we've seen the first item that we're going to get? Yeah. I know Distro's even sent us like
for Pokemon Day, right?
Yeah. I've got allocation for that Pokemon Day. I think it's like a 2-pack with the Pikachu promo, but it's just the stamp on it. It's cool. Everyone likes their stamp cards, but it's a Pikachu image that is
I'm confident that's what they're going to use forever now. Is that every 5 years they're just going to update the cheeks with the new numbers, and that's all they're going to do. And they're going to keep it that forever.
So just a 3 and a 0,
yes,
and then a 3 and a 5.
Yes, forever.
That's a little weak.
It is very weak.
It's a little weak.
It's a very lazy. In fact, if the set name for next year's 30th anniversary celebration collection, like I said, very lazy.
30th celebrations. Yeah. I mean, oh man. Okay, but it's just also the fact that I don't know, I don't mind. Fine, make the stamp however you want to make it. It can be as lazy as you want. But I would have thought, like, why not just do an original artwork for that Pikachu? Like, it's a reused. I think it's just the common or uncommon one from Temporal Forces or Paradox Rift. It's like, why make a promo card that's not, like OG Pokemon? Every item, even regular box collections, it wasn't so absorbed into this, like, just stamp a existing image. Like, we'd get original artwork, which is why those old school promo cards actually meant something. Because if you wanted that Pokemon card, you could only get it from the promo. Now it's like the image is just being watered down,
I fully agree with that. I've always been a true believer that if you like a card, you should just collect it for the art. And the stamps, to me, have never been a big deal. Same with like a first edition base set Charizard or the regular base set Charizard. If you just care to have the card, it's fine to collect base set unlimited, unless that first edition stamp really means something to you. Yeah. It's the same with the Pokemon Center boxes. Is a Pokemon Center stamp on a Charmander make it worth $1,000 more? That just depends.
I like collecting the Pokemon, but the artwork is slightly different. Like, you can even see those ETBs. I mean, but to your, it's similar.
The ETB is fine. I'm talking about the cards itself.
Oh, I see. You're right.
The stamp on the
promos
cards
inside are literally just the same artwork, but one just says Pokemon Center.
Yeah,
one doesn't.
And you want to talk about the ETB covers? Yeah, it's still lazy. You've made this complaint. They make it too similar.
That's true. You're right. I have said that. Like they when they started it, the artwork used to be. I mean, I guess it was similar, but it was. To your point, it's so funny you use this a lot, but it's like a test of like 20 feet away. Yeah. Like if you. Original Pokemon Center boxes 20 feet away, you could tell the difference between the Evolving Skies regular ETB and the Pokemon Center one because they look different enough. Now they resize like the image, or they add like 2 lines and then it just says Pokemon Center. But from 20 feet away, you're like, oh, it's the same artwork. It's not.
I think the Pokemon Company really tested the waters with the Pokemon Center stamp, and what they've realized is that, for better or for worse,
that's
collectors,
all they need to do.
Yeah, collectors resonate with it. And so, as you've seen with a lot more collections, premium collection boxes, they're just taking the exact same previous artwork, like for the Venusaur EX and the Blastoise EX collection box. It's just a reprint of 151 ultra rare cards, but they just threw a stamp onto it, and suddenly those are a little bit more cool. So now most promo cards are just regular ultra rares, but they just have a stamp on them, and that makes them neat, I guess, for collectors. It's getting a little bit lazy, but the Pokemon Company seems to be on the axis of how little can we do, but still get away with it. You know what I mean?
Well, and the reason they're on, so it's funny you mentioned that I think the driving force, because you got to wonder why a business is needing to do that. And I think we've touched on this a little bit on the pod previously, where a lot of it's like the people that keep always chiming in the comments about, oh, Pokemon needs to print more, and then like someone will say, oh, all these cards are going to go to zero because they're going to print more, and everyone just has this this idea that printing can just like happen like this, or that they can just build new facilities in like a month and then just have more printing machines available.
I know where you're going with this. Yeah, they're cutting corners to make it faster.
They're cutting corners to make it faster because they can't literally print more, guys. They're at 100% capacity. There's no more capacity after 100%. 101 only, that's only in gains. There is no 100% more.
So you're probably
printing.
right. Is that could they make the Blastoise and Venusaur, let's say a full art EX? Yeah. Yes, maybe it could, but maybe that slows down the production line by an hour.
And that hour costs them like X amount of cards that they need to print. Phantasmal Flames, more Prismatic Evolution. So instead, they'll save that hour, keep the printing presses going, and then when they have the same sheet of the Blastoise EX and the Venusaur EX, they just add a little machine that goes, okay, put the Stellar Crown stamp on it, put the Stellar Crown stamp, and then they don't have to remove even something like switching out a metal bracket to put a sheet on a printing press takes time. That like it all adds up, right? And as it adds up to hours and then eventually days, it just costs them. I mean, how many Pokemon cards could they print?
The big example of this is happening right now with Mega Dream EX, is that if you look inside of the set, and you and I are going to rip more of it over the next couple of months, but in Mega Dream EX, there's a ton of error cards.
Oh, the error, yep.
There's a lot of them. It's not just like one error card, because in Journey Together, or the Japanese version of Journey Together, there was one error card, which was Battle Partners, which was an N Zoroark.
Yes.
One error card. But in Mega Dream EX, there's a bunch more.
Right. And it's always about them switching some sort of sheet, whether it be how they colorize stuff or the texture, right? Because the N Zoroark, the error was, it was like the full art or the alt art texture
was a bit off.
It was just on. Yeah.
It was on, but it was just a little bit off.
Well, no, it wasn't even. It
wasn't even the same one.
It was the texture, because you would see the silhouette. It would be the texture of the other card on the wrong card.
Oh yeah, that's the same error is happening in Mega Dream EX.
Right, because they're using the wrong texture backing for the language on this, and so you're seeing like the language of Japanese, but then you'll see like the texture for Chinese, or it'll like, and then because there's different characters there, that you see this like visual discrepancy, and I think this is so telling, because this isn't even the American printed, like they can't print enough.
It's unheard of for Japan to have
make
errors.
Mistakes. Yeah, like their quality control is like 10 times better than America's QC, and like they are so pushed to the limit of needing to print 24/7. They got the factories, the lights on. They probably hired like daytime workers, graveyard shift workers. And then in Japan, they're so good about not making mistakes. If they're making mistakes, just like think about what's going to happen with our American cards. Like they're just going to be riddled with errors probably.
Card Lounge will be right back after this brief message from our sponsor,
Courtyard.
A huge thank you to Courtyard.io for sponsoring today's episode of the Card Lounge podcast. Check them out. You want to open up some cool graded Pokemon cards.
Courtyard is just an app on your phone, guys. You can literally just go to your phone, open up the app. You can choose what type of pack you want to open up. There's cheaper packs for people that are on a smaller budget. And then there's also some insane packs that have some crazy Pokemon grails that you can purchase. And then from a flick of your wrist, you can open up the pack and see a card that you can then leave in the vault, or you can have Courtyard ship shipped to you, and you can get that actual card in your hands physically in just a couple of days.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the cards that you can pull on Courtyard right now, and this is just with their $25 pack option. You can pull yourself a Pikachu V full art from Lost Origin. You can pull yourself a Volcanion from XY. This is a secret rare, and there's a bunch of cool Tag Team GX alt art. You can pull a Dark Charizard. Rob, wouldn't you say that these are some awesome pulls that you can get from just a $25 pack?
Yes, Jake. Those actually sound like some amazing hits. I actually like the hits that are in the $100 bag. You can actually get some insane grails, including vintage holo hits, as well as modern day alt arts. Use code LOUNGEPACK for a risk-free pack of the guaranteed value of what you are spending on the pack. That means if you get a $50 pack or if you get a $1,000 pack, you can sell that slab, whatever you get, right back to Courtyard for $50 or $1,000.
Remember to use code LOUNGEPACK for a risk-free pack with a guaranteed value buyback of whatever you spent on to pull the pack. A $50 pack, you get $50 back. And if you spend $1,000, Courtyard is guaranteeing you $1,000 in buyback. Well, speaking of just like sets being really delayed, I got a story for you. And this one's already been out there for a while now. But for Ascended Heroes, the upcoming special set, which everyone's really excited for, features a bunch of really cool cards. The release is going to be on January 30th, and we're talking about delays and how backed up the Pokemon company is. There's clearly a large one for Ascended Heroes because for release, it's going to be available on January 30th, 2026. We got ourselves 2 products that's going to be available. The first one is going to be the Ascended Heroes Collection, which features 2 booster packs as well as a promo card, which is Larry's Komala or Erica's Tangela, one of these 2.
Okay.
And the other one is going to be the Ascended Heroes Tech Sticker Collection, which features 3 booster packs as well as a Charmander or a Ghastly promo. That's all the products we're getting on release of January 30th, and we won't get more products until February 20th.
Wait, so you're saying there's a product that has 2 packs in it and and then a triple blister pack?
Yes. And that's all we're getting for Ascended Heroes.
Because the ETBs are delayed and pushed back.
Yeah, the ETBs are delayed until February 20th.
And there's no like big box product or like EX box or mega EX box that has like 6 packs in it or 8 packs in it. Kind of like how the Pikachu V Union boxes for celebrations would come with like, 8 or 9 packs in it.
The product that I think you and I and everyone want would be the Ascended Heroes Booster Bundle, right?
Well, that'd be 6. Yeah, that'd be
6 booster
something.
Packs. That's really cool. I actually was able to pre-order some on the Pokemon Center. I was able to pre-order the max, which was 4 booster bundles. So that's 24 booster packs. But here's the problem. Those don't come out until April 24th. So I'll be getting my Ascended Heroes packs 3 to 4 months after the release of Ascended Heroes.
That's what you got at the... shopping at the Pokemon Center is like almost become... pointless at this point. It's like,
no, it's still cool that I got 24 packs, but I mean, like at a certain point, like what does that matter? Like I'm not seeing those packs for 6 months.
I know. And then at that point they might even, well, no, they'll probably still be expensive, but I think what this means, and I mean, I guess we're gonna at least tell our audience so that they can prepare. There's not gonna be enough Ascended Heroes packs at release to just satiate demand of like people that want to rip right away. These are going to be heavily scalped. I mean, I'm trying to think of even streamers. Like, how much product are they going to need of the double and triple blisters if people want to go in on like 50 packs, 100 packs? Like, if someone wants to go in on 50 packs and you have ETBs, that's just 5 ETBs. You can kind of cover that, But like, out of like a 2-pack product, you would need 25 of those, which I think is like, got to be more than 2K. We won't know, I guess, how much comes in a case, but like if it's just 6 to a case or 12 to a case, this is like multiple cases of product that
just
have
to
to go
satiate
to people.
one
customer.
One collector would probably want like 50 booster packs on release, and that's just a very solid number, but like not a crazy amount.
Not a crazy amount.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that are gonna want 400 the night of, and they're like, I want to rip it. There's gonna be people that want to buy. Yeah, people that want to open. In real life, people that want to open on stream, that I don't think there's going to be enough packs, which means, oh man, that means if there's short supply, the price is going to get
in my
crazy.
In my initial reaction video, my guess on the price was $15 to $20 on release of Ascended Heroes, which is disgusting.
Is that where Prismatic Evolutions was when Prismatic dropped
Prismatic
them?
Evolutions did release at around $15 a pack.
It was like
Prismatic Evolutions, you're right. But here's the crazy thing.
15,
Prismatic
20.
reached $15, and it came with the ETB on release. So this is coming with no ETB.
I see what you're saying, and that's with ETBs on release.
Yeah. And things weren't as hype as they are now. So So that's even crazier.
Yeah, this is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, so Ascended Heroes is a really strong set, but I've actually seen this exact same dance again and again. But the interesting thing is that obviously the Pokemon company's delayed, is that they want to release the ETB on release, but they weren't able to get the ETBs on release.
They probably couldn't print enough cards to put in all the boxes, and then they had to have a certain amount set up for, like, I don't know, on pallets to go out to distros. They didn't meet some deadline. So, yeah, they pushed back. Yeah, there's no way they consciously decided, oh, we'll have the ETBs later. This is like a result of having not enough cards printed.
Yeah, and I'm sure at a certain point, and I talked to you a little bit about this off stream, but they could potentially just delay the launch of Ascended Heroes to February 20th to make sure that the ETBs and Ascended Heroes come out during the same period of time. And that would help. I feel there was an executive decision to make, hey, you know what, let's just release Ascended Heroes January 30th like we set out to with whatever products we have.
Probably should have delayed it. But then you're right, I guess. But then you delay everything. Someone probably had to make the call. They go, all right, we've got some products. Put those out in January.
I don't want to hurt the Pokemon company, but is there some kind of malicious thought that said, like, yo, let's just make sure this set is as hype as possible on release? No one can get it. $20 a pack. It'll be foaming at the mouth for the rest of the year. People will love it.
They're going to sell anyway. I don't think they need to do the artificial hype to build
Well, that's
FOMO.
kind of what they are doing, because the delay in releasing the product is drip feeding that hype.
No, right, but it's not artificial. I guess you're suggesting that there's some like artificial malice in there.
No, there is not an artificial malice, but they do have a decision to make, which is, hey, can we delay it to February, or do we keep it at January? And they're choosing to say, yeah, you know what, artificial scarcity for a couple of weeks, it's fine.
It just adds to our
We'll just send out another email that says, dear customers, we're aware of how much you guys are passionate for Ascended Heroes. We are printing as much as possible.
We're printing
at
99% capacity, yeah. We would like to increase capacity by 1%, as if that will change. Yeah, they always say 99 instead of 100%. It's like, guys, they're at 100%. That's what that means. It's so funny because if they only have those two products, man, there's not even like a premium collection. You remember the premium collections for Paldean Fates?
Yes.
Nothing super
it was
crazy.
It was called a premium collection, but there was nothing really premium about it.
Correct, because you just had the shiny, like, it was the starters, right? Like Quaquaval, you had Skeledirge, Meowscarada. What it did, though, is even though it gave you those shiny promo Pokemon, each box came with, like, 10, 11, 12 packs of Paldean Fates, right? You need a box item like that can just be stacked on shelves, other than ETBs that people can buy and be like, here's a lot of packs. 2-pack, 3-pack sticker collections are not gonna, I mean, people are gonna go into Targets and I guess be limited, but you know, a guy walking out with 2 packs or 4 packs, I guess if you get 2 of the double packs, that's gonna be nothing.
So I agree with that. And that brings up the point. Let's say I really am excited about the release of Ascended Heroes.
Okay.
Let's say I wait in GameStop's line 3 hours in advance to get some products. What am I going to get? Am I going to get a tech sticker collection? They're probably going to limit it to 1. Am I going to get a Larry collection and get 2 booster packs? After a 3-hour wait, I got 5 booster packs of Ascended Heroes. Was that even worth it? You know what I mean?
Well, then does this actually combat the scalper mentality?
Oh, no, it's still going to be a long line. Oh, it's still going to be a long line.
Yeah, I guess we're already proving that because it's already not worth it for, I think, people to stand in line for products, but people are doing it for, I guess, like Charizard UPCs and the Moltres boxes. Like I saw people at GameStop for Black Friday, like, you know, lining up really early, but those have a lot of packs in it. And even then you could argue it's not worth it, but people are willing to do it. I just wonder if like 2 and 3 packs is enough to get people to realize, hey, lining up 5 hours ahead of time for 5 packs doesn't mean I'm winning. Like it's like they're saying I don't want to pay scalpers an extra $2 or $3, you know, per pack, but them waiting 5 hours to gain a net positive, like of an additional, I don't know what, like 2 or 3 packs at MSRP, it won't, I don't think it'll math.
Yeah, no, I'm fully with you. I don't even know what, as a content creator, I'm gonna do for this set, and that might be something that you're thinking of too. Is, hey, you want to live stream ripping open Ascended Heroes? How many packs are you really gonna get? 100? Is that even enough to live stream? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what am I gonna open up for review of Ascended Heroes on release? Am I gonna open up 5 booster packs? That's not enough for me to even understand
what's inside the set.
I didn't even open up the set, you know? So
all right,
that's
guys,
weird.
we're going to open up one of each item. All right, those 2 packs. Here's 3 packs. Here's a Larry promo, and the video's over. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Right. Well, did I even have a set to begin with, you know? That's how it feels, kind of weird.
Yeah. All right, I guess so. And this is unprecedented, right? Has Pokemon ever launched a new set without the ETB being at the forefront?
I've never seen a set this dry on release, especially for a set of this caliber.
Regular set, you have booster boxes. Yeah. Obviously, something very small, but 36 packs inside, perfect to just get packs out there. Special sets, the big item is the ETB. You got to launch with the ETB because you get 10 or 9, packs per box. A case is what, like almost 100. It's kind of like, I guess without that, yeah, this is going to be, dude. So who knows? Yeah, this is going to really cause a bottleneck with this set.
I think this could cause a second massive wave of hype. Obviously, things have died down a little bit, but I really think Ascended Heroes has a strong chance of just being a second Prismatic Evolutions kind of catalyst. And what that means is it brings a lot of people into the hobby. And you might say, like, how could a dryness of a set create such a scenario? To me, I see it as news article picking it up, or places like CNN will say, oh, can you imagine this just in? Pokemon cards are now 4x over retail. Let's say each pack of Ascended Heroes is $30 on release. There's news stories of people fighting at Targets or Walmart over a couple of packs.
Yeah.
And that could really just get eyeballs onto the hobby.
Right.
Where some dad out there who might not have been collecting, he's like, suddenly, hey, I'm just hearing all this news stories about Pokemon.
And they're
I'm
all
curious about it.
Yeah, I go to the shop. Oh, I found 2 packs. They get into it. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, it could bring a lot more people into the hobby. It's so funny to think that, like what you were talking about with the Pokemon company, how this hype, like how much accidental FOMO they create, whether intentional or not, just based on them not spending all their money being the richest, like, #1 media franchise. Like, the fact that they're not building more printing facilities and like not putting the money towards that stuff. They just they can ride the wave being #1, and by them being very lackadaisical and complacent, it makes them accidentally do all the right moves to still like build in this like artificial scarcity mentality. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, the scarcity absolutely drives a lot of the demand. And you were talking about what kind of sets you need, For instance, Detective Pikachu or the booster set, the Halloween booster set. Something like that you can release with 5 packs. It's not a big deal because those sets come with 13 cards, For Ascended Heroes, this is our gargantuan set. If you look at the set side, it's close to 300 cards.
It is a lot, yeah.
It's close to almost being too much. My number for a set size is if you're over 300, that's too big of a set. But under 300, that's a really large amount already. So Ascended Heroes, I think it currently has around 280 cards. If you rip open 28 booster packs and get no duplicates, that's how many packs it'll take to complete Ascended Heroes.
Right.
And I'm not getting anywhere near even 28 packs, you know what I mean?
You can't even open up stuff on release day and get that many packs.
So is it cool for us to be excited about the upcoming Dragonite SIR, the End Zoroark, and all these cool repeat, the Mewtwo? They're all really cool SIRs, but the odds of you pulling even one, right? Like, am I going to pull one of it? So how excited can I really be?
And then, you know what? And you're saying, how excited can I really be? But then this is where social media and like everything has come into play, right? Like one thing I have noticed is in opening as many boxes as I have for either myself or even people on stream, the SIR Charizard is kind of a tough hit.
It is.
Right. But I see comments all the time where people are like, oh, this is going to be like Obsidian Flames. Like everyone's pulling the SIR Charizard. And it's I'm seeing it a lot. And what I'm noticing is when you scroll on TikTok, especially at the launch of Phantasmal, you will find one person, and it's very easy to go from like one person to like this content creator, like Yuna. Yuna opens a ton of packs. Like she's gonna pull it, and there's gonna be a clip of her pulling it. You know,
everyone's gonna have a clip of them pulling it.
Right.
And that doesn't mean it's not rare.
I saw exactly, but it does trick your mind subconsciously into thinking it's not rare, because people don't like. People see Yuna pull it, and then like you scroll, you see like Haxie pull it, and then it's like, oh, everyone's pulling this card. Like I should be able to pull it too. And you know, like there's a random video of someone that maybe they're not even a Pokemon like content creator. They're, you know, filming themselves. They pull it, and it just like lets everyone think like, oh, everyone that's. But people forget there's also, for every one person doing that, 10,000 people filming their pack opening and not pulling it, but they're just not putting it on the internet because they didn't pull it, you know?
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting subject, is that a friend of the channel, Catch 'em All Collectibles, he was messaging or DMing the other day, and I think he said, hey, you know, the odds or the expected value of opening up a booster pack, any booster pack, is roughly around 40 cents, which means if you open up $100 worth of Pokemon card booster packs, you're going to end up with about $40 worth of value in terms of your pulls. So the expected value is lower than what you paid. It's very common. Mm-hmm. But if you open up something like Courtyard or GameStop Power Packs or something of that nature, the expected value return is around 75%. Mm-hmm. But people see that as much more gambly than opening up a booster pack. Right. People don't see opening up a booster pack as a much of a net loss as opening up like these graded packs.
I saw this comment. Yeah, that's because Dan is smart, but it's very true. Like everyone that gets mad about these like you know, like opening up like say Courtyard packs or anything, don't realize it's probably a better ROI to open up a bunch of those packs than spending the same amount of money on just opening up straight Pokemon cards, because Pokemon's like not caring about the value part at all when they build the packs. It's just randomly, let's put cards inside. You know, they still see it as like the trading card game. I mean, that's, you know, what it is, because you can play games with the cards. So it is funny how people try to rationalize like, oh, like, yeah, like what Pokemon, like opening booster packs isn't gambling. Or when I saw that one comment, there was some guy that was like, because we had the Courtyard sponsorship on the video, they were like, oh my gosh, these two sold their soul. And I was like, relax, man. If you like opening up Pokemon cards and you've opened up a booster pack, then you've done the same thing as what Courtyard has created as a product.
Yeah, so for instance, for my Phantasmal Flames booster box, right? I paid close to $300 for that booster box. Mm-hmm. I ripped open all my booster packs. I didn't pull an SIR. In fact, the only two SIRs that you can pull that would bring back the full value of the booster box
the Charizard
would be the Charizard. Unless you pull a Charizard, you're losing value on your booster box.
Yeah.
And I pulled no SIRs. So the value of my booster box, I think it came out to be like $25 if I'm generous.
Wow.
And so that's an interesting scenario where I've done videos where I've opened up like GameStop Power Packs or Courtyard packs. And, you know, if I spend $300, I might end up with, you know, $200. But that's not nearly as bad. I'm fine with both examples, by the way. I don't mind that I open up a Phantasmal Flames booster box and got $30 worth of value. Yeah. I don't mind opening up mystery products or mystery power packs and getting like $100 negative value and only getting $200 out of my $300 or something.
I like
that's fine too.
Dude, I feel like I open up Courtyard packs and you're going to get like more often than not more value, or at least that scenario can happen out of the packs more often than when I just blindly open up Pokemon
Did
card
you hear
packs.
what GameStop released on Cyber Monday?
What? The Moltres?
No, I'll tell you something crazier. So for Cyber Monday, for one day only, they released, I think it was called a Pearl or a Diamond Power Pack. And it was $2,500 for a single rip.
Oh, I did hear about this a little bit.
I was going to do a video on it, but I chickened out because $2,500 for a single mystery pack was outside of even my budget.
If you would have told me, we could have done a double video on one and then maybe made it worth it. Yeah, make it short. Maybe, yeah, Courtyard, send us what was it, a silver pack?
Yeah, it was $2,500 for a single pack.
All right, Courtyard, we need one of those silver pack stats so that we can see what's inside one of those.
So the pull from the GameStop one, the low end, if you hit the low, which is actually pretty often, which is about 40%. 40% of the time you'll hit undesirable card. An undesirable card would be around $1,300 to $1,400 in value. So if you spend $2,500, you end up losing about $1,100 on the pull right away. That's the worst case scenario, is that you end up losing about 40% of your value. The best case scenario, and I've seen, people have obviously posted their hits. You can pull like a $20,000 card
right.
or something
Well, yeah,
crazy.
see, that's the thing. You pull the grail, but it's like anything. Like the higher buy-in, I think maybe that's where some people lose kind of like the efficacy of their argument. I think they just see the number as far as like the gain potential, but also the loss potential. And the loss potential just happens way more. But it's the same ratio as opening a Pokemon card pack. It's just when you spend like $5-6 on a pack, you'll see if you pull nothing, it's like you said, you make like what, like 40 cents, 50 cents.
Yeah. It's actually way worse. It's way worse.
Right. If you the ratio of that, the percentage is way worse.
Yeah.
Because you went from $5 to 50 cents.
There's no guaranteed in a Pokemon pack. There's guarantees in these other companies
to at least get like a better percentage than that. But it's like, it feels less bad to someone not understanding or taking the time to understand the math to just lose $4.50 than to lose over $1,000. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's just a small, it's just a smaller like number we're talking. I think if you could make the argument if like a place like Courtyard made packs where you could get cards but that's the thing, if you drop the value to what Pokemon cards can be, they could make a $5 pack, guarantee more value, but they'll eventually lose money because at that cost basis, you have to put in cards that are just of a decent value, and the time it would take to do that. I mean, the only reason Pokemon can pull it off is because they're making the item. When you make the item, each card, whether it's the Charizard or a common like, Kamala, is just 2 cents to them. It's nothing.
So I guess my ultimate point with this is I've noticed a couple of comments, and what they'll say is on my video where I was ripping open these power packs or slab packs or any cards really from these mystery products from Courtyard or GameStop, is I saw some people were saying like, hey, Jake, why are you doing this, dude? You're just going to lose money. And honestly, I'm not ripping open a booster box to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm not ripping any mystery products to make money.
Yeah.
It's because it's
You're
fun.
ripping it to have fun,
and
right.
I'm part of the hobby, and this is what I like to do.
Right, because if they're making that
I'm not making a booster box. I'm not ripping open a booster box to make any money. But I don't expect to make anything.
You know what's so funny? I think that's a huge mentality shift because Pokemon is so hot right now. People view opening up Pokemon as making money. And in a way, they are correct in that if you spend your money, quote unquote, gambling on Pokemon, if you hold that product and you take good care of your conditioned rares and like higher up value cards, you will make money. So it's kind of like, but they're adding that thought process in as they speak on the comment. It's kind of like, yeah, when you open up stuff right away, are you just like if it was an infinite like money glitch, you would just be ripping product all the time. And at some point in time, it was when Pokemon was like at its lowest point in popularity. And then what made it popular was people realizing, oh, you can just like go to the store and like make free money. But I think those days are long gone now. And like you have to employ some patience to actually make some money in this hobby. But that's why the hobby is so strong right now. There is this huge value component that I think is tied to most new collectors and old collectors. I think a lot of the purists are like, oh, I don't think of the cards as money, or I don't think of the cards and look at their value. But I think that's there's a spectrum of it for sure. But everyone does pay attention to the value to some degree because you have to be able to interact and trade within the ecosystem,
Yeah. So I guess my point here is that, hey, when we're ripping open products, it's true that there is some value here, but we are doing it because we enjoy it and we're doing it because it's fun. And that's part of what's being in the hobby is like. Ultimately, if you just want to buy singles, that's always an option. If you're ripping open any kind of products and you don't know for sure what's inside and there's a value spectrum, it is a little bit gambling. But most of us are adults and we have expendable income and we're in this hobby together. Yeah. If you want to buy any of these products, you can. If you want to rip open a booster box, you can. The fact that I rip open these booster box or buy any mystery products for the sake of just fun, makes me a true collector because I don't care about the value.
We do need to say this on the pod. I think we left this comment on someone that was probably bringing up the whole like quote unquote gamble argument as to like, I don't know, equating that with fun. I think definitely in our society, there's like a lot of unhealthy gambling that's being pushed, especially like to kids. And
which is very fair.
Right. It's like
it's very
that's
poor.
happened. Yeah. Like I don't think guys like just gambling on something where if you can lose all your money on the thing, like proceed with caution, like everyone's an adult, you can spend your money how you want, but like at least with Pokemon you get something back, so it's like really always of some value, and the values are such that it's like it's truly random, whereas like other sort of events and things you can gamble on, I guess you can make the argument there can be outside forces that maybe can like influence those to some degree, but all this just to say, like when people attribute the fun aspect or why we open up packs, like why is it fun or why is it okay that Pokemon made this like this booster pack kind of gotcha thing early on and we all just kind of accepted it as like, every set they could make boxes that come with every card, like a lot of card/board games do, and be like, play the game. All you need to do is play the game. So you need one of each card. If you want 4 of each card to build a deck, buy 4 of our box sets and you have every card in the set. But it's not as fun. And so there is like a psychology between like gambling and fun. And I think when we say the word gamble, it's like people just think of, going to casinos, like placing big bets on roulette or like playing slot machines where you can lose it all. But gambling is just kind of like taking a chance on something where you can get a more desirable outcome at the risk of also getting a poor outcome. You can anything fun, for example, anything fun that's kind of dangerous in life. What makes it, is it a gamble to go out into the ocean to surf? Yes, that's a gamble. You go out there, some people get, bit by a shark and then, they lose a leg or you never see them again. That's the gamble when you go out into the ocean. People still do it though, because it's fun to go surfing if you learn how to do it. And that's like kind of the best metaphor I can give for that.
I got this one.
Being
this is a
told that it's
real
better.
example of that exact happening.
Okay.
Is that a couple of cities have adopted a new method of recycling. And this is actually true.
Okay.
So for instance, back in the day, if you bring in a can of soda, an empty one, for recycling, you would get, let's say, 10 cents for that empty can, right?
Yeah.
They changed the model so that instead of getting 10 cents for every can you put in, for every single can you submit, you have a chance of winning $100. And that increased the amount of recycling that was done across different cities.
Interesting.
At the end of the day, the amount of money that they give out is the exact same. But instead of everyone getting $1 here, $1 there, one person gets $100, and that's more enticing for recycling purposes.
Yeah, no, okay. See, I hadn't heard about this story, but I get it, because then people are just like, oh, if I get, it's going to increase recycling. That's actually a brilliant metaphor. I see, because the people that just are like, oh, I found 3 cans on the side of the road, not the people that go around and collect cans. They got to compete with those guys. But I think that sometimes it's like, oh, I've seen those like kind of things. All right, you drop off 3 cans, you make 30 cents.
Yeah,
and
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
But if you pick up 3 cans and you have it and you go, wait, all I have to do is drop it off in that bin,
and I
it
have
gives me a chance to get $100, then suddenly you're like, you know what? That's more than 30 cents. If I don't get it, I wasn't going to get it anyway with like 30 cents because I didn't care enough about it. But I'll go drop the 3 cans off in the receptacle because, well, if I won $100, that'd be sick for that amount of work I put in.
Yeah. It's the same with
and that's
Pokemon
the gamble.
booster
That is literally gambling. You're just saying, oh, I'm going to do this thing and I hope I win the better thing, even though I could do the thing and get $0. And I guess the net negative there was like, you don't lose money, but you expended effort for 0 value in return.
Right.
I think we just
dissected
Pokemon pretty well.
Well, the root of it is that why would we ever buy a Pokemon booster pack, right? At the end of the day, could you just not buy whatever card you want? If you really want the Charizard SIR, you could just buy it. You could just buy it.
If you got $1,000.
Yeah, but that's...
Or you could pull it in a $6, $7, $8 pack.
That's what makes it exciting, is that all of these packs have a chance of pulling that card.
Yeah.
the average is that if you rip open $1,000 worth of packs, you're actually not going to get it. You should just buy the single, right? If you really want the single, it's actually cheaper to buy the single.
Correct.
But the odds of you pulling a God pack, like that's invigorating.
Yeah.
Like it's so exciting. That's a core memory for the rest of your life.
I know.
You're
I still remember the demigod pack I pulled at your house, and I still was like, that was the first prismatic ever.
Yeah, you
I was like,
remember that.
what? That was so
I still
fun.
remember the memories of me pulling every single God pack. Every single God pack I've ever pulled, I remember it. I remember the video in it, and I can go back and look at those because I recorded most of them actually.
They are exhilarating. Yeah.
I remember the time I pulled a Zekrom from Black and White for a viewer. And I remember that memory. The only reason I remember that memory is because it was rare. And it was unique in my mind.
And then you got to share it with that viewer. And that adds a little like connective piece between you and that viewer. Because I'm sure that viewer really appreciated you pulled it for them. And then it's like, you know, they remember that for the rest of their life. You remember it. And it's like, or he or she remembers. And then you just, you know, it's like a cool way to actually bond. I mean, what we are describing and how it creates these positive memories is also the glue that creates the nostalgia factor that is Pokemon. I mean, this is why Pokemon is so sticky, because like someone can just get into the hobby from 3 or 4 or 5 packs. If they pull the best card, usually they're in for at least another year or 2 or maybe forever. I mean, I think a lot more people are entering this hobby as forever fans than just like come and go fans. And you see that even with like content creators, right? Because when I started, I mean, there was like you, Nate, Danny, Leonhardt, Rev. It was like you could list like 10 or 15 or 20 like PokeTubers, and now there's like, I don't know, thousands of us. It just seems like there's more and more people that are willing to, I don't know, devote their hobby time in their life to Pokemon. But that's also because it's worth it. It's worth it because the people in it are great, if you find the great people in it. And then it's the one hobby that as long as you keep putting money into it and you take good care of your collection, it kind of becomes more valuable over time. And that's really like unique.
Yeah. This is stuff that you and I talk about a lot. It's just little topics like this, which is, you know, the pull rates on certain items, how rare certain thing is. You and I actually created a mystery pack this summer, the first round of the Card Lounge mystery pack. And I didn't tell you this, but inside of one of those mystery packs, I made it a God mystery pack. So just to recap the memories of the viewers, the mystery packs were 8 booster packs inside, and there was a 1 in 5 chance of getting Evolving Skies booster packs. So it wasn't as gambly. You pretty much got close to the value of the purchase price.
We made good packs.
Yeah, they were very good packs in that you never felt like you lost any money.
Right, and I'm remembering what we
lost
charged.
money on them technically all now.
With what we charged for those and the packs we put inside, you see the value of what those are now. People got to steal if they bought our mega packs.
They were really good products, and that was by design.
We should do another round.
We could probably do another round, but this is what I'm talking about. Is the design of it is that every single 5 of those mystery packs, you would get 1 Evolving Skies pack, and that was the chase. Yeah. But honestly, I want it to be on the safe side of it being less gambling. But really, for a product like this, we should do a little bit more variance, because that's ultimately what makes it kind of exciting. Is it better for me to design a mystery product or a mystery pack where, let's say, the value on average is a little bit lower, but every now and again you get that core memory? Is that we raise those potential value pulls, and you can get yourself, at this point it's basically a Poké pack where you can pull yourself like a fossil pack or a base set unlimited pack or something of that nature.
And that is fun, and that's why he kills it with those packs,
because that becomes a core memory for that person. Can you imagine opening up a Team Rocket
memories.
Or a Skyridge pack in one of those? That'd be insane.
Well, I remember when he was ripping like not he was ripping, but like he opened up a bunch of like vintage boxes to put in, I don't know, his like 3.0s or 4.0s. But I do remember seeing pictures that were going like viral on Reddit, because, you know, no one would just be able to buy a base set box to open up base set packs, but someone would go in on a Pokerev pack, and then, you know, just whatever they paid for that, then suddenly there's a base set pack in there. That's super exciting.
Card Lounge will be right back after this brief message from our sponsor. A huge thank you to Collectr for sponsoring today's episode of the Card Lounge podcast. Collectr is the ultimate app to track value and manage your collection. like a pro. Imagine this, you're at a card show and you need to know the value of a card immediately. You can scan the cards in second. Just point your phone and boom, the card name, set, rarity, and price. You have all of the insight on the current state of the Pokemon card market in the palm of your hand. Want to know the value of your collection today? Collectr pulls live price data from real-time sales, so you're always locked in on the current market value. No more digging through sold listings. Your collection digitized and organized with zero hassle. With real-time portfolio tracking, you'll see your total collection value, daily movers, and price history over time. You can even add cards to your watch list so you remember what you wanted to pick up. Collectr also offers an amazing platform to show off your collection to others. You can even see my whole entire collection showcase on the Collectr app. Try out Collectr today. It's available for download on iOS and Android. Well, speaking about all of these little power packs, a big reason why they're so incredibly popular right now is because the market kind of demands a lot more inventory. And one of the places where you can sell Pokemon cards, you and I talked about this on an older episode with Jarchomp, is that now pretty much GameStop is one of the largest, if not the largest buyers of graded Pokemon cards, at least in the US, is that at a certain point now, if you want to sell your cards, and we were talking about this, it doesn't even have to be a generic card that is easy to find. You can sell your Grail cards to GameStop and they will pay top dollars for them. For GameStop, they just recently picked up a Gengar Holo from Skyridge. They value it at $33,800 and $33,800.
That's a rare card to find in a 10 now.
They value it right around $34,000 and they paid the person close to $31,000 for the card. So that is a really strong offer.
What is that, 90%?
That is
92%?
That is really strong.
Jeez.
I would say, yeah, like 91, 92%, maybe 90. Maybe it's exactly 90, but that's a really strong offer, which if you take that card, a Skyridge PSA 10 Holo Gengar around a show, and even if the vendors value at 34, I don't think there's that many vendors that would pay 31 for it.
Yeah, maybe like 27, 28. Because you know what? They'd be too afraid to buy it, have the price drop 1,000, 2,000, and then suddenly they're not making any money on it, or God forbid, they're in the red. Whereas GameStop, because they're a huge corporation and have so much capital, they can like kind of afford to take that risk.
Oh yeah, they lose probably millions of dollars in a day, and it isn't a blip in terms of, you know, accounting or finances. So for them, even if that Gengar drops $1,000, it's immaterial, which means it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a rounding error for them. That Gengar card is a rounding error. So because they're so large, they can afford to make some of these big purchases. And you and I were just talking about it earlier. They had a brand new power pack, which they were testing for one day, Cyber Monday, where they sold for $2,500. And the top chase cards, I think, inside of that power pack were around $30,000 in value in terms of the top chase card. So they do have a slot for that Gengar. They would say, like, who would buy this Gengar from GameStop? They would put it inside of these mystery products as a top tier chase. And we've already discussed how top tier chases absolutely work. They draw in customers.
You know, it's funny because you said it was what, 2,500 a rip?
Yes.
For those. So what, 2 pulls is 5K, 4 pulls is 10. You get 12 pulls on that, you're already up to 30. Like, and the percentage chance is so low. They'll probably get 50 to 100, if not more, pulls before someone gets that lucky, like, percentage, like whatever, where they needed it to land.
I know the exact percentage. I'll tell you, it's 0.1%.
Yeah, okay, that's so
they publish
small.
It.
Yeah,
they publish it. The odds is 1 in 1,000.
1 in 1,000. So
to pull one of the top tier chases.
Someone's gonna get that eventually, some lucky person. But like to them, that's like, dude, if they get like 15, 20, 30, 40 people to pull trying to chase it and don't hit it, they're already in the green.
Oh, well,
they've already made money.
So the packs are designed to make money no matter what, which is fair.
Oh, right.
You know?
That's how
so
you
let's say you rip 10, right? You rip 10, you probably lost around 30% of your value from you buying those. Well, why would anyone buy them, Jake? Why do we buy booster packs, guys? We're not buying booster packs to make money. It's because it's fun. It's the exact same thing. We're all coming back to the same circle.
Yeah, to the beginning of the conversation.
You can't rip these expecting to make money. You rip it because it's fun, and if you hit something really cool, it's a core memory. I'm gonna call Rob immediately. Rob, I just hit a 40,000 Gengar, dude.
Dude, that Skyridge Gengar, yeah, that'd be wild. It's interesting though, because no company can make any sort of product and have it not make money for them a little bit.
Pokemon companies sell booster packs because they make money too.
They make money, right? Yeah, exactly.
They want people to rip it open and not get anything good, but every now and again someone hits something good and it's a core memory.
Right, and they have to put something good in there, because if they put no rare, no alt arts, no textured holo cards, the game would probably die. Yeah,
these
then
are
no
just
one
more
would
expensive
play the
booster
game.
packs.
Yeah, exactly. It would less people would collect it. I'm sure people would still play the game, but it's it would be less of a fun and exciting game without all the alt arts and
I think this is actually a really strong pivot by GameStop, which is that the problem with video games, which is the market that they were in before, is that it's really limited in the amount of money that they can bring in terms of how many games do you buy from GameStop a year? I'll buy maybe 3 PlayStation 5 games or 3 Switch games a year.
Right, the big games they buy. And what's funny is that GameStop would just take it in at when how GameStop has a meme about it where when you sell back to GameStop, they're like, oh, I can give you $5 for that. And you're like, dude, I paid you $60 for it and it's only 2 weeks old. I just want to return it. I can't give you $30, but they're paying this strong on cards. It just shows you the liquidity value, the actual worth of cards versus a video game. Cards are way more
liquid, guys. That's the biggest difference. Is that there was a point in time, and you recognize this too, I think our viewers recognize this, is that when you collect cards and you talk about the value of it, you can say oh, guys, this card's 1,000, this card's 800. And the most common things that people outside of the hobby will use to discourage it is saying, oh, well, how hard is it to sell? That's the biggest question is, it's great that card's 1,000, that card's 1,000, but how do you ever sell any of this? The market is becoming exponentially more liquid in a very rapid pace, where at a certain point now, if I want to sell cards, I'm not going to take photos of it and put it on eBay or put it on Facebook Marketplace and have 20 people DM me. I'm just going to walk into GameStop, take their 90%, and that's clean, easy, super safe, and so rapid. I could do that with almost any card.
It's almost like GameStop is becoming a bank for cards.
Right. That's exactly it. If you want to convert cards into liquid cash within a day, that option is now available.
Yeah, has a GameStop in it.
And that's very powerful in the hobby.
Oh, man.
When you have that reassurance to know that no matter what, you can quickly convert it into cash.
Yeah.
At a percentage,
and
but
GameStop might not give you the best deal, guys. You still might want to trade or sell cards to people in the hobby, especially vendor friends or just fellow collectors. But to Jake's point, in an emergency, if you needed to come up with 10 grand quick, if you're just in your closet and you have Pokemon cards and you're how do I turn this into 10 grand? Yeah, you'd have to call people, you'd have to find the right buyers. The fact that you can just now drive from most major cities in America, have a GameStop and just usually just 5, 10, 15 minutes away from people and just cash out your stuff is actually kind of insane to think about. And it really does give proof to Pokemon and Pokemon cards as a collectible or investable asset because of this kind of very stable liquidity.
Yeah. It is a very interesting number, right? Because this Skyridge Holo Gengar would be a hard sell. It's a very cool card, but even if you have it as a vendor, it could take you 6 months to find the right collector.
You have to find the right buyer. But now, if GameStop's just going to be your right buyer, you could just sell it there. That's why
it's a backup option. It doesn't mean GameStop is the first option, but you just know, hey, if GameStop is willing to buy it for me from 31, I'm not going below that 30, number.
Right.
That's
so
a very
the real
solid
collector
number.
has to now find the people that are selling it, which means they have to be willing to pay more or closer to market. There's no more hey, can I get 5, 10, 20% off? If you really want a card, you're going to have to really throw down the bones for it because it's man, this makes the landscape a lot more competitive. Okay, well then speaking of the market, just for everyone tuning in, it's let's talk about what we've been seeing with Pokemon. Some prices on some stuff have retraced a little bit. Like we've talked about the Van Gogh
Yeah,
Pikachu
the prices have cooled down
coming
a little
down.
bit.
Yeah,
it's calmed down.
I see a trend. We called this what, like 30 episodes ago on Card Lounge, where we said stuff that was high population, like the Van Gogh, will eventually show what those pop reports mean something, guys, because then when stuff starts to cool off, those are the first items that start to lose most of their value the quickest.
Oh yeah, we saw this coming. There were people in the comment section who said, Van Goghs, baby, Great Felt Hat Pikachu's going to $5,000.
Yeah, it can never drop.
If they go to $5,000 or $10,000, imagine how much the other card should be worth. You know, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And rarity is important, guys. So obviously you see the Van Gogh dropping. I think, I picked up a Van Gogh at a show where some guy was like, I need this amount on it. And I regret paying him that high of a percentage. I should have offered lower because now I'm kind of underwater with it. But it's okay because it's just one card. And I'm sure I've made money on like the other like 10, 20, 30 cards I got at the same time. So it's kind of like, it is interesting to see some stuff like taking a dip right now. Do you see like Ponchos taking a dip or any of like the Battle Festa Pikachus? You thinking about pulling the trigger on the Battle Festa you still need?
Yeah. I'm thinking about pulling the trigger on the Gengar Pikachu.
Yeah.
I actually do have enough now to get the 15th anniversary Pikachu. So I might get that. So here's the
might
thing.
Be a good time to pick it up.
Those cards that I'm picking up, they're not climbing. I'll be honest. I'm not picking those up because they're going to go to some higher number.
They really, might after, like if you take one and it goes in your permanent
they're really
home,
cool, but they're kind of like blue chips in this kind of market, right? So the Battle Festa cards or the Poncho Pikachu, they might be dropping 5%, whereas the Great Felt Hat Pikachu just dropped 50.
Yeah.
You know, so the percentages are very clear. They're more blue chip. It just is what it is. They've reached their kind of liquid state in terms of how many people really want them. It's kind of hard for them to move up. It's not impossible, but they're going to move up at a slower pace because they're not as volatile.
Well, that and also they're rare though. I think the more just look at you just brought up the Skyridge Gengar, right? That was why when I was like I want to collect one of each holo from Skyridge, Gengar was the first one I bought.
Yeah.
I think I got it for like 800 or 900 in a 9.
The one regret I have.
It's like,
or maybe the Pokemon Company, they didn't do a Gengar Poncho. They should have done a Gengar Poncho. Oh. That would have been such a hit. Guys, bring it back for a celebration collection. Poncho.
They could still do that. If they did a Gengar
bring back Ponchos and bring it back
box,
Gengar.
Oh my gosh.
Bring back Gengar. Bring back Mewtwo Poncho. Bring back a Latias and Latios Poncho box. Home run. But the Pokemon Company doesn't need that. That's another break glass in case of emergency. They got a lot of those in the back
they'll do
pocket.
that. Have you noticed also the insane amount of money swing that's happening, the shift from Pokemon to One Piece?
Yeah, so I've heard a lot of people talking about that.
Oh,
it's kind of an interesting, some people are saying like the scalpers have moved from Pokemon to One Piece. Have you seen any of that?
So I have. I've seen that comment a lot. What's funny is that just seems to be the overall general sentiment. And guys, and again, this isn't a hot take. You can listen to this or not, but it's not so much the scalpers moving. It's just people realizing Pokemon got so expensive and One Piece was undervalued.
I think, One Piece is just a way younger, so people are just seeing it as, okay, everyone knows a first edition base set Pokemon booster box is $300,000. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to buy it at $300,000.
Correct.
What can I buy that has the potential to be $300,000?
Yeah.
I'm going to buy One Piece.
The blue bottom.
The base set One Piece is way cheaper, but it has way more potential.
There was a lot more discrepancies though, and like there were a lot more arbitrage points in One Piece that I was even recognizing when, like, you know what was funny? When One Piece blue bottoms were like climbing, right? They hit 3K, and I think now they're at like $5,000.
Sure.
So you got $5,000 for the arguably number one anime's first edition box, and the alt art leaders, which you only get like one or two of those boxes per case, their prices didn't move at all. Now they're spiking, and people are like, oh, it's scalper money coming into the hobby. No, it's it's correctly moving now, because for whatever reason they weren't moving at all when the box was going up. The box is going up because the hits inside are rare, and the hits inside weren't going up. So I think everyone just started to buy all the hits when they were like $400, $500, $600, and now they're like $1,000, which makes sense because you're not opening a $5,000 box unless the hits inside are, you have the chance to hit a couple grand.
Yeah, the people who are buying those, I would say, are more collectors / investors, which is completely fine. To me, if you want to see an indicator of scalping, you really need to look at the modern market, because to me, scalpers are the ones who would be picking up, let's say, the brand new OP whatever
13, yeah, and
one
I
piece
see
box
that.
at retail price and marking up double or triple. That would be more scalper mentality, because you can't scalp a box that is out of print from 3 years ago.
Right, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and to speak on that, it's like OP13 right now, dude, that was such a home run set. It was kind of like their prismatic evolutions. I think it just got so many people into playing One Piece, collecting One Piece. I think for the last 2.5 years, right out the gate, I've been collecting One Piece. I knew it was like, I mean, it's the #1 anime in the world. Like, One Piece is so awesome, and that's why it's also kind of weird when you see all the guys getting into it that do talk about it from a value perspective, where they're like, oh, One Piece, I can collect the rarest stuff or get the grails, and it's like, well, do you care about like what the card is outside the monetary value? And that's only going to be like determined collector to collector, right? Like, only that person knows how honestly they feel about it. I think what's interesting about if you've been collecting when the stuff was worth, I guess, essentially nothing, is I always thought the cards were worth something. I always thought the cards were worth more. There's some One Piece cards that should definitely be worth more than some Pokemon cards just based off rarity alone, and they're not yet. Especially compared to some of these modern Pokemon cards. But you are starting to see those prices kind of equal or like get closer to each other. And OP13 really brought a lot of awareness to the game. I mean, just every box you'd have some like major hit in it, whether it was like, they had the SPs, there's wanted posters. They had 6 manga rare chases. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get all 6. This is still something that like Pokemon still hasn't done, where we've all pulled the Charizard SIR, right? They are, I think, done printing OP13. Maybe there's a small second wave, but dude, you can open cases. I'm talking 6 to 10 cases of One Piece OP13 and not see a red manga.
Sure.
And there's 3 of them. Like, this is truly the type of, like what you were talking about with the spread and having this like, and creating memories, like core memories. Dude, pulling a red manga or even just the non-red manga is such a chase that like Pokemon really hasn't hit that level yet, where it's like a multi-$1,000 card, because it has to be something that's like an insert. You know what I mean?
I fully get you.
Like something special.
I don't mind it. I think it's cool to have a super uber rare card. I think that's completely fine. To me, what really matters is the middle of the road hit. Is that gap can't be far. Your choices can't be, you either get $30 in value or 10 grand in value.
Right.
You got to have like some middle of the road that
I agree.
Most people have to be okay with. And I think that's what One Piece does best.
Well.
Is
those
that it
middle
doesn't
of the road
matter.
hits. Yeah.
No one expects to get a red manga. That's the thing.
Right.
No one expects to get a red manga, but you still end up satisfied with your booster box, and that's the fairness.
So you chase those other hits. We'll call those like the top tier hits, and then the manga's like the surprise. To your point, it's like you're not expecting the red manga. Then when someone gets
that's a core memory, because it's so shocking.
It's always
like,
shocking. Exactly. Like the SIR Charizard's not shocking. It would be as if what Pokemon would need to do would be like if you opened up a box right now and suddenly you pulled like a rainbow alt-art Zard and you were like, what's this? And then there was like a story about it in like Idaho and then another one in New York, and it's like this card that's like a, what's funny? It's like what old secret rares used to be. Remember when you'd get the mini shiny out of black and white, but no one knew about it. It was truly a secret rare. Now we call these things the alt art secret rares, but they're not secret because we know about them.
Sure.
They would need a new secret secret rare
The
class.
problem with those
that's
old
like,
secret rares was that they were so secretive. Even if you pull one, you didn't know you hit it.
you didn't, no, but that's my point though.
You didn't even know you pulled a secret rare. You gotta have to have some signals that people know that they got something cool to be excited about.
No, you don't. I think, well, I get what you mean by that.
You
but
gotta at least people know, like, yo, dude, you should be excited about this.
It's also kind of fun. Remember, like, I think back to like sets where I stopped opening Pokemon cards when I was younger, and I never knew what a crystal Lugia was or a crystal Charizard, because as a kid I didn't open up enough e-reader stuff, and I thought the set was like garbage. I feel like everyone did, where you were just kind of like, and that's kind of like when I was getting out of Pokemon, like transitioning to Yu-Gi-Oh, it was kind of just like, these look weird and I don't care about these. And I never knew that crystals even like existed in the set. I would have had to have like hit one really early and be like, oh, I'm impressed with this. And now those cards are the top chases when you look back on it. So I think there is some like kind of like, you can make the argument, okay, if Pokemon just made this like separate rarity class, like they kind of did it with the mega attack rare, like just another rarity type, or you could you know how One Piece does the treasure rare, just some little extra insert that's like another extra thing, almost like when they did amazing rares for Vivid Voltage and then they just like gave up on that concept. It was like Pokemon Color Blast, but a little bit rarer than how rare they made those, because those were kind of common to hit, you know?
Yeah, if you guys can't tell, the theme of this episode is chance and rarity and just pulls and chase.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the theme of the episode, which is cool because I think that's a really important part of just being collectors and collecting.
True.
It's just seeing how precious something can be. And that's part of the fun of why we rip open anything at all. Yeah. It's part of that excitement.
Okay, what do you and then just to cap it off, as far as like the rarity for stuff for these modern sets, like Phantasmal Flames, unless you hit the Charizard, kind of like nothing too special out of Phantasmal that you can get that's like worth too much stuff. I like the artwork in it though, you know. You got
they're cool cards, right?
Yeah.
That's
I like
not
the Mega
problem.
Sharpedo.
I think they needed to have just a couple more
little
cool
bit more
cards.
stuff.
Like,
yeah.
Could they do more Mega Ultra Rares? Yes, they could. They just chose not to.
Yeah.
I think Phantasmal Flames really needed another chase that is not Charizard. Something else to look forward to.
Right. And I think they do full arts of like the Heracross. There's no Mega Alt Art Heracross, but there's a full art Mega Heracross. Yeah. But people don't even view that as a hit, you know?
Right.
Like that's what Pokemon is missing. Like One Piece. That thing.
The other thing is
TCG,
that those hits are rare too. Like you could open 3 booster boxes and you might get like one special illustration rare.
Right.
And that's not enough, you know,
right.
to make you excited or happy. Regardless of value, would you be happy to pull 1 SIR out of 3 box? You wouldn't. Regardless of value.
Regardless of value. So the other things have to have value to it. So they have to make those things very spectacular. Like I think One Piece does a good job where like the exquisite rares, for example, which is like an SP type where it's like heavily designed and heavily textured, looks beautiful. The exquisite rares, if I get a box that has that SP in it, I'm happy with that box. I don't need the manga chase or like how they seed in a gold anniversary or a silver anniversary Luffy or Shanks or Buggy. You know, each of those sets, it's like another special rarity supply, surprise, and the supply of those is even smaller than the mangas. I think like it's like even rare to hit one of those. So you know, if Pokemon like could at least make the full arts, I don't know, more desirable in a way. And I guess what does that come down to? Just artwork and how they design the card.
Or they could just make a slightly rarer variant, you know, like a slightly rarer variant. Is that all they really need? It just needs to be all that rarity where, let's say you open up 1 in every 2,000 booster pack. It's so rare you don't even expect to ever chase it. It's not a hunt. You're not going to hunt for something that's 1 in 2,000 packs.
It's just when you get it, you're shocked.
Yeah, and that's all they need to, you know, just give you something to hunt for. But like I said, middle of the road, opening up every single booster box should feel fun and satisfying, regardless of the value of your packs. And that's what I really want them to hit on.
Do we think Mega Dream does a good job with the rarity in that, like, what top chase is, I think, the Mega Gengar SIR, but people are pulling it. It doesn't seem like it's like a surprise if you pull the Mega Gengar.
We'll see. like the Japanese set is very different because obviously you get a guarantee secret rare inside of every single booster box, which is why cards inside of Terrestrial Festival aren't on the same level of excitement as Prismatic Evolutions because they're so rare. So we'll have to wait and see what the pull rates of Ascended Heroes is. So I'm hesitant on calling it Crown Zenith 2.0. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll check out the pull rates. Also, guys, I'm wearing one right now, and I'm sure Jake has his in the wash, but we got new Card Lounge merch. I know we've been saying this forever. We did do a run, but what was funny is it sold out so fast. We just didn't bother even needing to sell it online because we just brought the shirts to shows and they just sold out in person.
Yeah, shout out to you guys who bought shirts at the vending shows.
Yes, thank you for supporting. If you would like to support the channel, we have right now it just comes in black, and then we're gonna make some white shirts as well. It has the Card Lounge logo. You can see it in the camera, just right there in the chest. It's nice. It's subtle. It's not too big and taking up the shirt. And they're very comfy and like form-fitting shirts. So you can buy these right now at www.roboskills.com. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to have you guys can order the shirt and what your size is, and then we're going to catalog all the orders, and we're going to make them based on, if like we get 50 people that want mediums, 60 people that want larges, 20 people that make extra larges, or want extra larges, that's what we'll make. And then once we get all the orders through, we'll ship them out to you guys. So if you want to support the Card Lounge podcast and you want to, rep us out in the wild, you can get one of our shirts or our sweatshirts or hoodies.
I'll tell you, maybe we should sign some of them if you guys want some. So let us know if you want to sign Card Lounge shirts.
Yes, we'll sign a couple random shirts and sweatshirts so that some of you guys will get some cool signed versions, and then maybe we'll have a little mystery pack.
Maybe that will be like what is interesting about the chase, because that's what we chase in the hobby is we chase the chase. Yes. It's fun to chase stuff.
We'll make a 1-of-1 gold shirt that only one of you guys will get. But you got to order. I think Pat made something like that for his did you see that? He did a drop of like, should I open it or should I keep it sealed merch?
And he made a hidden drop?
He made like a rare version of the shirt and like a super rare version of the shirt. And it made, I think it's doing well. Like I think a lot of people bought shirts. So.
It's a very interesting kind of mechanic to put inside of any product. Mm-hmm. And obviously it works really, really well. We see it all the time. With like PSA magazines, they do variants. Yes. PSA magazines is literally free, guys, but they add variants to PSA magazines. So there are chase versions of the magazines.
And those chase ones sell.
They sell for thousands.
For what the membership for a year costs to just get the magazine for free anyway. Yeah. So it's kind of funny because
there's like rare chase shiny versions of Gyarados PSA magazine covers out there. And they are valuable. People do care about chases. And it's just how the hobby is. We like the chase. You guys are in this hobby with us. You guys get it. It's part of the risk, but it's part of the fun. It's
fun memory. Chasing rare things. I guess that is also a driving force that kind of connects us all as collectors. We all like, shiny rare things. So I don't know. We will think of a shiny rare variant thing. Jake and I will do something fun with some of the shirts. Just go to roboskills.com. We'll leave the link in the description. That'll take you right to the shirt section so that you can do like look at all of our promo as far as like clothing and swag options, and then I got cards and stuff on there as well that you can look at if you want. But I think until we get like our own Card Lounge kind of shop set up, it'll be there. And then just let us know what shirt size you want. And
thank you guys. Appreciate you. That is the Card Lounge signing out. And let us know what your thoughts are. This episode has been a little bit more theory crafting on the pull rates, gambling, and all of that stuff. So let us know your thought. I'm sure it's going to be controversial, but it's always in good fun. We always appreciate seeing you guys here.
Yeah, thanks for lounging with us.
Peace out, everyone.